So after 10 fails, 5 corrections, and so many designs, I think I finally nailed my pattern for the jeans in miniature. So let's try it. Hi, I'm Emmy and welcome to my channel.
Wake up, fuck up, I'm already running late. Cause it's 33 minutes, but only 3 miles away.
I'm using a white jean fabric for this because I pretty much want to have white jeans. I've had enough of the blue. So here's our pattern. We are going to work on the front piece first. So let's separate the fabric from the pattern. So practically our jeans, or the front view for the jeans, is actually 4 parts. The front of the jeans, the inner pocket, the outer pocket, and then the tiny keyhole. Now for the keyhole, I already hemmed the sides, just folding it in and then sewing a stitch to lay down. So let's keep this aside and then focus on these 2 parts. So for the inner pocket, we're pretty much going to line it like this curve to this curve, line it up, pin it down if you have a pin, and then stitch or sew going all the way around. I'm doing this off camera because I do not have enough storage, so bear with me. Just sew all the way down. Now that we successfully sewed all the way around, we can turn it like this, and then I'm going to use a stem stitch and then stitch the top so it lays completely flat. Once you're done or stitched to lay it down, we can go ahead and work on our keyhole. Now this is really simple. You just need to plan. You need to plan where your pocket, the outer pocket, is going to be, and then shift this. Make sure this curve isn't showing. Push it down. Plan it so like this. And once you've gotten where it's going to sit, you're going to take a pin. Always have a pin nearby. Always have a pin nearby. Without moving the key pocket, pin it down. Check again if you did it correctly. Like this. Yeah, like this. And then just stitch. You can use a back stitch, you can use an embroidery stitch, you can use any type of stitch. Just stitch it down to hold it. Once you've attached the pocket, it's not going anywhere. You should have a little space for maybe like your doll's finger, like that. See that space? And now we can attach it to jeans. It's the same shape as this, only that this side has been cut. Line it up and then sew all the way around. I'm just running an embroidery tack on mine to keep it from fraying or losing. And that just concludes our pocket with a keyhole. Repeat the same thing for the second trouser, except this time we did not add a keyhole to this one. Time to work on the fly. For the fly, I did not cut it on fabric. I'm sorry, I didn't cut the pattern on jeans. I cut it on cotton. Yeah, I traced it onto cotton, and I'm just going to sew all the way around, leaving the longest side open. So once stitched, you're just going to turn it inside out like this, trying to make sure I do not fray it because my stitching is really close to the edge. This is why you should give a seam allowance, but I did not want to because I've gotten too comfortable. So working with tiny spaces. Sew an embroidery stitch. I'm using a stem stitch, or you could just run your machine, or a tack. Just sew all the way, laying it down flat. Once your fly is ready, go ahead, line this top with each other. like this, and then sew attaching. Lay them against each other and just sew. Now the fly is completely attached. Go ahead, flip it like this, and then sew an embroidery stitch, or maybe not a loose stitch, or a back stitch, or you can run your machine. There are three things: back stitch, embroidery stitch, on your machine, just run a stitch, and your fly should be attached completely. You're done. Not yet, but you're done with the fly. Now that we've done the embroidery to attach or connect the fly to the jeans, we can go ahead and just sew the jeans both sides together. Leaving that space, you put the fly, leave the space alone, and then just sew right underneath the fly and just go down. Clean up the raw edges by folding it in and then stitching just to clean up that edge. And just like that, we are through with the front. Now focus on the back of the jeans. For the back of the jeans, we have three parts to work on: pocket, the underneath of the jeans, and then the top of the jeans. Take the top of the jeans like this, and then lay them down against each other and sew to attach. After you attach, go ahead. Remember that split that was on our pattern? We are going to fold it and then sew a line closing that split. Turn, sew an embroidery stitch on it. Go just below the stitch that you made. Fold it up like this, and then sew an embroidery stitch going. Go ahead and clean up your pocket using the pattern as a guide. Just fold the sides and then sew. And then go ahead to attach it to the jeans. Now, when it comes to finding a place to place the pocket, it helped for me to just place it on my doll's body and then plan the pocket. So what, like that. Take my trousers. This side is usually above the waist, like this, and just a little like that. And then place your pocket right here, just above the butt, and then pin it like you did for the other pocket, the inner pocket of your front view, and then sew. Take the two trousers on both sides. You know the drill. Take those curves, line them up, sew to attach. Flip over, and then run the stitch, laying them down. So practically, the back of a trouser is done, and so is the front of the trouser. We are going to take both sides of the trouser, lay them good side to good side, and then sew along the edges. If you want to get creative, you could go ahead and add embroidery stitch on the side, just folding it in like this and then adding your stitch right on top of it. You can repeat like the other side, or you can just leave it as it is. And while you're at it, go ahead and fold this in and then sew your embroidery stitch right on it. My pieces are coming together. Now for the final work, we are working on the belt, just the waistband for this. And I noticed that my jean fabric is stretchy, so maybe that's the advantage I have. Then I did a ribbon for the belt loop. You could use ribbon, you could use fabric. I just did my ribbon out of jean fabric. It does not stretch, but yeah. Another thing we're going to need for this is super glue, because unfortunately this is a very tiny ribbon and I will be cutting it into tiny pieces, so I'm going to be using super glue to hold the edges from fraying off. Hold this. Oh, I don't know where my camera is right now. So first you're going to fold this in. You could go ahead and hem if you want, but I'm not gonna. Just sew all the way around. Do the same thing for the other side when you're attaching it to here. You'll see why I'm doing it in a second. go ahead, turn it up like that. With that fold, make sure it's still folded. Then turn it like this, like that. Don't worry about the raw edges, just fold it. Repeat all the way around, and then sew all the way around. For the belt loop, I took a wooden dowel. I don't know if this is a wooden dowel or toothpick. It's bigger than toothpick, but smaller. I think it's a wooden dowel. Then I cut my jean strip, the one I'm going to use as a belt loop, and then wrap it around it like this, so I know how much I'm cutting off. And then cut like a whole bunch. I was able to get 5 pieces. Now because I know my end is going to start fraying, I'm going to take the super glue and then glue the tip to make sure that it doesn't fray. Continue with the other side and just do it for all of them. Now that we have our strips down, glued, and the fraying has stopped, you can go ahead and stitch it. You can just re-stitch it down, planning where you want your loop to go, and then just tack it down. You can go ahead and add Velcro, snaps, or hooks. I have now committed myself to using hooks because it's much neater, and you can just like snap it in like this. The buckle is now attached. Time to try it on our doll. I'm just pushing my clothes inside so it looks like she made a tuck to her outfit. You can pull it down just a little bit. This is a trouser with working pockets. The pockets still work, and they're really deep. And the keyhole also works. Look at that. The finger could go right through. Look at that. So yes, we have working pockets, working back pockets as well. And we're pretty much done with this book. Now if you're wondering what kind of jeans this was a boyfriend jeans pattern that I made. Yeah, if you want it to be a little bit skinnier, you could just take in the stitching lines that were in between. But yes, this is the look. And if you're wondering where the shirt came from, this is a crop sweater mixed with a tank top. They are sewed together at the back. They're attached together. And I've made a short available. I'll be posting it soon, a short tutorial on how to make it. The pattern is also available for you to download. So yeah, I'm pretty much done with this look. And I actually like this look all together. I don't hate the trousers. It's a little big, but I don't hate it. That's what boyfriend jeans are for. And I have one that looks exactly like this. It's not white, but it looks exactly like this. The belt loop still works, so you can actually fix a belt inside if you want to be like decorative and stuff. You could go ahead and add a belt loop to it just for that extra zazz or something like that. And you can actually get this pattern for free within the 30 minutes of this video's upload. And you can just get it for free completely, no charges added. After 30 minutes, it would be placed on sale. But here's the actual good news, because I really have a surprise for you guys. I'm giving out a discount, 20% discount on all of my patterns for you to download. 20% on the price of everything. It lasts from the 19th of April all the way to the 25th of April. Since that's actually my birthday week, I'm not going to tell you when's my birthday, but from the 19th of April to the 25th of April, my patterns are serving for 20% discount, so you can go down the link below and claim yours. especially for the ones that you really wanted. This is your chance to get it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget to ding that notification bell so you'll be the first to see what next I'm out to create. Till next time, guys. Bye.